Something very curious and possibly historic is taking place on this day in the Middle East. That would be the pinnacle of an effort to unite Israel with the Gulf states, something that we have seen coming and have been reporting on right here on this newscast for quite some time. Israel has already made deals to normalize relations with, as you may know, Bahrain and the United Arab Emirates. But now it's going for the big enchilada, Saudi Arabia. It seems like forever and a day the Saudis have said they will under no circumstances ever normalize relations with Israel. The now 84-year-old King Salman has been adamant that if Israel wants to resolve its conflict with the Saudis, it must first resolve its conflict with the Palestinians. That's what he has said. That's what King Salman has held and said. But what does Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman say? Or maybe more importantly, what has he done or is he doing? Here's the news. According to the Saudi government advisors and many Israeli newspapers, too many to name, too many to count, bin Salman had a secret meeting this weekend with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who made the clandestine trip secretly to a seaside corner of Saudi Arabia. The two leaders were reportedly met there by U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, who, according to reports in the Wall Street Journal, is attempting to unite the two countries, Israel and Saudi Arabia, to further isolate Iran. All this with just 2 months left in the Trump administration. And now we're getting word from Saudi Arabia that, wait for it, no, what are you talking about? There was no meeting. Huh?
Kal halal Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai Shem Kodash. Double honors unto the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, teaching us 100% truth and ruling well. Peace and salutations, peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. This is your brother Dawad with another quick lesson. The truth is, Saudi Arabia and Israel have never been strange bedfellows, considering they both sleep with the same mate. Speaking of Babylon the Great, which we know through end-time prophecy and throughout the scriptures to be America, Israel and Saudi Arabia have always worked together, particularly in sharing the same intel. So denying this meeting says to me, somebody is asking for somebody else's support regarding military action. The fact that America, represented by that warmonger Pompeo, was also present screams ensuing conflict in the so-called Middle East. The fact is, puppet states like Saudis and its allies cannot attempt to tackle the Iranian military without U.S. support and involvement. What they're not saying is Russia gave Israel the okay to attack Iranian sites in Syria a long time ago. When you counter in the Belts and Roads Initiative, I'd say really the factor here is Hezbollah. Let's get some scripture. This is 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 3, and it reads, "For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape." There will be no peace in the Middle East until Yahweh Shai redeems Israel. When I say Israel, I'm speaking of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, the true Hebrew Israelites, and those that don't necessarily look like us but adhere to this truth. There will be no peace in the Middle East, the so-called Middle East, until Yahweh Shai redeems us and removes these heathen from our land. These peace talks and set agreements being made that will end all conflict and bridge strained relations is nothing more than a farce, an attempted distraction from the main focus of the military right now, and that is, of course, Operation Warp Speed. If anything, any real plan for peace is a pipe dream. In any event, the land itself is too polluted for any true diplomacy to take place to stifle harsh feelings and gain any stability in that region. Verse 4, "But ye, brethren, are not in darkness, that day should overtake you as a thief." And that's pursuant to 2 Peter 3, I believe. Yahweh Shai will come like a thief in the night, ergo the war of Armageddon. This latest incident is just one step closer to the Lord's judgment on the earth and his arrival to recompense the heathen through Yahweh Shai. Verse 5, Ye are all the children of light and the children of the day. We are not of the night nor of darkness. We are not in darkness. We are far from sleep. We are not ignorant to Satan's devices. We, the men of the Lord, prophesying in his name, are the children of light because we have the knowledge of the scriptures and this truth. This truth is the light that sees through this agenda and blatant globalist deception. Therefore, let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober. Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 49, verse 20, and it reads, Therefore, hear the counsel of the Lord that he hath taken against Edom. How's this for truth? The Israelis and the Saudis are of the same lineage, being the Saudi royal family is Ashkenazi, and therefore children of Esau, being Khazarian stock. And his purposes that he hath purposed against the inhabitants of Teman. I think about who inhabits that region today. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitations desolate with them. Meaning they both can be responsible for starting the war of all wars in what we know to be the Valley of Jehoshaphat. Let's jump to Jeremiah 50 and 46. We'll start at 45. Therefore, hear ye the counsel of the Lord Yahweh, that he hath taken against Babylon and his purposes, that he hath purposed against the land of the Chaldeans. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. Verse 46, and here's the point. At the noise of the taking of Babylon, the earth is moved, and the cry is heard among the nations. So nowhere in the antiquities, meaning in biblical times, did the earth shake, rattle, and roll when the rulership in Babylon changed. Darius himself went in like a thief in the night. Proof that this is speaking of latter days, these times we are in now, and of America, the modern day Babylon the Great. Incidentally, pay close attention to the Biden administration's stance on Iran if and when they do take office, considering the Trump administration has withdrawn its troops from Iraq and Afghanistan, yet deployed B-52 bombers in both regions to quote-unquote deter aggression and reassure U.S. partners and allies. In any event, let's close out with this. This is 2 Ezra chapter 15, verse 26, and it reads, For the Lord Yahweh knoweth all them that sin against him, and therefore delivereth he them unto death and destruction. For now are the plagues come upon the whole earth, and ye shall remain in them. For the Most High shall not deliver you, because ye have sinned against him. Behold, a horrible vision, and the appearance thereof from the east. There is no Middle East. It's either Near East, Far East, Southwest Asia, or Eastern Mediterranean maybe, but there's no Middle East, besides at least a millennia, if not more, before Eurocentric mapping. Wasn't Arabia part of what is considered today to be Africa? I mean, in any event, verse 29, where the nations of the dragons of Arabia shall come out with many chariots, and the multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon earth, that all they which hear them may fear and tremble. And that wind actually is pursuant to the idea of warfare. Also, the Carmanians, speaking of the modern day Iranians, raging in wrath, shall go forth as the wild boars of the wood, and with great power shall they come and join battle with them, and shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians. The Assyrians speaking of Esau and the lineage of Edom. And then shall the dragons have the upper hand, remembering their nature, and if they shall turn themselves, conspiring together in great power to persecute them. These so-called Iranians, Iraqis, Arabs of the Gulf will remember their resolve and stubbornness towards the quote-unquote infidel of years past. Then these shall be troubled, bled, and kept silenced through their power, and shall flee, meaning withdraw and retreat. Ergo, big trouble in Little China, for those familiar with the verbiage. I'm going to end right here to the 45th verse, 2 Ezra 16, and of course Ezekiel 38 goes further in depth regarding these prophecies coming to pass. Keep your eyes open, Yasharallah. We'll see how this plays out. So I'm going to end off by saying, Kal Halal Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem Rakah Kudash. Double honors again to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who teach this 100% truth and rule well. Salutations to the hopeful elect. Shalom Yasharallah. Don't take that vaccine and don't take that chip.
Crew in B-52 bombers from Minot Air Force Base was sent to the Middle East today. This Just 4 days after the Pentagon said the U.S. will reduce troops to 2,500 each in Iraq and Afghanistan. U.S. Air Force B-52H Stratofortress air crews assigned to the 5th Bomb Wing in Minot conducted a short-notice, long-range mission into the Middle East, according to U.S. Central Command. The nonstop mission was intended to, quote, deter aggression and reassure the U.S. partners and allies. The last U.S. long-range bomber presence in the Middle East was in early 2020, according to U.S. Central Command spokesperson Captain Bill Urban. At this time, we're unsure of how many crew members were deployed.